Hi folks, and Céad Míle Fáilte. This is
the navigation,
where I'll be going on a weekly basis through all the most popular devices, doing the reviews, giving you my pros and cons of each one, so you know exactly which one is the best for you. First of all, and like always, a quick disclaimer that all the products that you'll see on these reviews have been sent to me for me to test and review. If you use the links down below and the coupon codes, I might get a little bit of a commission out of it. Help a brother out, right? Now, having said that, everything that I say on this video is my own personal and honest opinion, right? I'll give you all the good stuff and the bad stuff and make your own decision, right, based on my own personal experience. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Today, we got a new player in town. We have the RiderNav R7M. 7 inches, obviously, connects straight into your nav prep from BMW, and of course is compatible with your Wonder Wheel. So let's open up the box and take a look at it. All right, so there you have it. RiderNav R7M, obviously 7 means that it's a 7 inches display, compatible with the Wonder Wheel. And straight out of the bat, there's two things that call for my attention. 1200 nits of brightness, so that could be one of the brightest screens out there. And then also IP69 waterproof, right? So normally these devices are IP68, so IP69 is pretty impressive. So those are two things that already stand out of the box. Inside the box, there's not much to it. We have the device itself, which we're going to have a closer look in a second. And then inside the box, underneath you have your user manual. Let's have a look at the device. I repackaged this. Obviously, I've been testing this device for quite a while. You have this little screen protector, and there you have it. Obviously, quite a bit of a device. It's pretty massive, as you can imagine, but this is where things are starting to get different. Look at how sleek this design is. This is pretty new. And actually, if you look at the profile with all the edges and everything, it's pretty low profile compared to other devices where they're going to be much thicker. So although the screen is pretty big, what I've noticed that it's because it doesn't protrude as much. And I'll show you in a second, mounted on the bike, but it definitely doesn't feel as big. So that's quite impressive because being such a big device, you will think, oh no, it's going to be the same as the other 7 inches. But no, it's actually, it feels a little bit sleeker for whatever reason. So here you have your USB-C port and your SD card port. But one thing to mention is that both use a very tiny Torx bit, which not all tools, if this can focus, not all toolbox will have it. And some devices will include this little screwdriver for those tiny bolts and everything in the box. This one didn't. So just something to mention, it's nothing big. I do have those tiny Torx picks in my toolbox, but not everybody will have it. You might need one of those precision screwdrivers or something like that. They're pretty tiny, but just a quick call out that if you're going to use an SD card or connect your device to USB-C, you will need those Torx picks. Just something to call out. The other thing is, obviously you have all rubber gaskets everywhere in here and in here as well. So that probably is what makes the whole device IP69 certified, which is pretty impressive again. To mount the device into the bike, pretty standard process. You probably have seen this before, but in case you haven't, you obviously need your navigation preparation, unlock it. There's a lever on this side that you have to extend. And then the device itself has 2 notches on the top and a big one at the bottom. Obviously the one at the bottom lines up with this. Put it in place and you just click it, right? And that's it. You lock it using your lever on the side and that's it. The thing is in place. So I'll show you very quickly. To unlock the whole mount, you pull the lever on the left and push the one on the right. That will release the device. As you can see, it activates these little notches. This is to me where it makes the difference. You see how it doesn't protrude too much on the outside with all the devices will be kind of up to here. So that to me makes a lot of difference. Also, it has a more sleeker design and I don't know, for whatever reason, it gives you that kind of sensation that is not as big, although it is quite big, right? And you know me, I'm a big fan of 6-inch screens, right? Because I think they match the bike a little bit more. One thing to notice, and I'm sure somebody is going to call it out, it's not perfectly aligned because again, I'm between devices. I keep testing devices every other week. So I haven't changed this one, but if it was me, I'll probably move the mount to the left a little bit more to make it align perfectly with the TFT. I know there's people like me that are going to call it out, so might as well just say it now. All right, so that is the boot up process and the main screen. I can tell you the camera doesn't do it justice. The screen is pretty bright, and I love the fact that it has this kind of night mode, if you will, right? The design of the UI, the user interface, I think it's absolutely perfect. And it's one of the main features for me on this device because it's basically a fresh look, right? See how smart this screen is, for example, right? Normally, and this is something that people complain about other devices where, why would you want the same information displayed both on the TFT and the navigation system, right? So in this case, they kind of done a bit of a twist where you have your lean angles, which I know a lot of you are chasing all the time and they love to compare leaning angles, etc. So this screen, I think it's pretty smart, right? And again, it goes straight to that information leaning angles. You have your speed, your gear selector, battery voltage, temperature, etc. So this screen to me is pretty smart. You have your time again at the top and the temperature. You of course have different views. This one would be pretty much again the same information as the TFT, but with a different design, which I like to see. Obviously your RPM, your speed, battery level, like we mentioned before, the tilt angle, so obviously your lean angle, the tire pressure front and back. But look at the design of the whole thing. I think it's brilliant. The whole interface is very clean. I love how it looks, etc. So you can switch between the two screens, obviously, right? Then if we go back, this would be kind of the main screen. You have the sunset, the angle, tire pressure, your kilometers an hour. On the top, you have three logos. You have your Wi-Fi, your GPS, and your either Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. And this, you can customize it to whatever you want, right? So you have the trip, kilometers, the angle, etc. Sunset, altitude, that type of stuff. You can go into the tire pressure monitor and see the tires, right? The values more closely. Again, this one, it will either pick up the information from the bike, or you can also get the separate TPMS from RiderNav as well. In my case, obviously, I didn't choose those because my bike has the TPMS included. You can go into settings. I don't know who comes up with these translations, but it says demonstrate. But it's basically the screen brightness of the device. If I crank it all the way up to bright, again, it's not going to show up on the screen, but it's extremely bright. 1200 nits, it's absolutely a monster. It's absolutely fantastic. There's no chance that you won't be able to see that in the daylight. Obviously, I turned the lights off here so you can actually see everything on the screen, but the brightness and the definition of the screen is quite impressive. Then you have your storage for your SD card, right? So I think this is only a 8 gig internal memory. And then we go into features. You have your time and date, obviously, TPMS. You have your connection to your headset, GPS. I'm indoors, so I don't have any GPS signal. And then here's another one that is absolutely brilliant, and I actually need to grab my camera and test it out, but you have action camera control from both Insta360, GoPro, and DJI. So we'll get to that in a second. Then updates, I love to see the function of doing updates over the air, and I'm up to date. So it takes 2 seconds. It's actually very user-friendly, right? Because you don't have to be fuffling around with SD cards and all that kind of jazz. So that is absolutely perfect. You can, of course, choose your language, reset, and then if you go into more, you can change the distance unit from kilometers to miles and the temperature to Celsius to Fahrenheit. So all the basic stuff. But look at this, even though I'm inside, it now has picked up GPS signal. So that's pretty impressive. I'm inside of a garage, so that is pretty impressive indeed. This icon in the middle that looks like a BMW logo, it will take you to your screens as we've shown before, right? You have the two different dashboards. And then finally, of course, you have your either Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. You click on that, it takes you straight into this. The response of this device, I do believe that is one of the fastest, right? Being one of the newer devices, they're probably using a faster chip. So it is pretty impressive, pretty responsive. You have obviously whatever applications you have on Android, right? So you have your music, phone, maps, etc., right? So everything that you need, it's there, and it works absolutely perfect. To control the screen with your Wonder Wheel, like always, press and hold your menu up until your TFT displays nav on the screen. You can easily flick through the menus, your dashboards, etc., and then also switch into Android Auto if it is connected. So if you press and hold to the right, then it will take you to the first screen. Then from there you can flick very easily left and right, and it will take you from the two different dashboards that you already have. Press and hold again to the right, it'll take you to Android Auto in my case, right? From here, you can see now I'm on the navigation side of things, right? So like always, if I press and hold the cancel button on the indicators, then I'm on the bottom of the menu, and then I can switch between applications. Some devices will let you do this, some devices will not work too well. So now I'm on music mode, and again, if I want to switch to another application, again, press and hold the cancel button on your indicators, and then I can switch out to other menus, going to Google Maps. Once I'm on map mode, again, I'm on there. I can zoom out, zoom in very quickly, very responsive. And then from any screen, if I press and hold back on the Wonder Wheel, boom, I'm back on the dashboard very, very quickly and very handy. I love how I can switch from the bike menu to the navigation very quickly. And this is something that all the devices haven't done. Press and hold on back button, I'm back on my dashboards. Press and hold back again, I'm on my main menu. So if you think about it, it's pretty straightforward, right? So you have your main menu, the two dashboards, and then Android Auto, right? So if you go to the right, it will take you to the menus. If you go to the left, it will go back, right? So if I press and hold to the left now, I'm on my dashboard. If I press and hold to the left again, I'm on the main screen. Press and hold to the right, go back to the dashboards, and then you can switch between the two dashboards doing just one click, either left or right. Press and hold to the right again, boom, back on Android Auto. I cannot stress this enough, but I'm very impressed on how quickly everything is and how clear the screen is, both in brightness. Even though I have my brightness at very low, is as bright as my TFT, which is at 60%. So that is very impressive, and it can go very, very bright. Let's try out the whole connection with the cameras. Connecting the camera, it takes nothing but 2 seconds. I went into features, the menu that you saw before. I selected DJI, which is my camera, and it automatically detected it and it connected. So now if I go into features, action camera control, turn on my camera, and as you can see, now it's connected. We go enter, and there we go. That is, as you can see, the camera on and all the controls. So that is my screen. Obviously you see everything in red because I have the tail lights turning on, but basically I can go in and boom, take a photo. That's a photo. Or you can start and stop recording. Then you can control the camera to turn it on and off, right? So you see this button, boom, you see the camera is off, turn it back on, boom, camera back on. That is absolutely brilliant. How many of you guys are actually doing motovlogs with the camera and you don't have to fuffle around with the controls of the camera and everything? And especially if you have a 360 that is mounted on a pole or something like that, that is absolutely perfect. Then of course you can control it, as you can see, with your Wonder Wheel as well, right? So you don't even have to touch the screen. Again, how brilliant is that? So left and right, you switch between the menus, and then if you press the cancel button from the indicators, boom, taking a picture using my cancel button on the indicators. How brilliant is that? This is an absolutely first. I don't want to sound too excited about the whole thing, but I am, right? It's a completely different take from the competitors, and I think this device definitely stands out, right? So let me see. There you go. Maybe that's focusing a little bit more. So you're seeing the screen through my Action 6. Boom, picture. Let me turn it off while using my Wonder Wheel. Boom, off. just by using the Wonder Wheel. Here, obviously, you see I'm not touching the screen. So, I want to take another picture or film another video. There we go. On. Boom, camera is on. How impressive is that? And how smart is that, right? Because again, a lot of people that are into technology, into these devices, most likely now these days it's much more common that you will have a 360 or a DJI or GoPro mounted on your bars at the back of the bike, and now you can actually control it with your TFT. It's absolutely brilliant. And again, I'm on the camera, controlling the camera, press and hold, boom, switch back to Android Auto, no problem whatsoever. It does everything, right? How brilliant is that? And I almost forgot to show you, but this is the shutdown process. I turn off the bike, and you get a quick countdown with some average data, right? Few seconds, boom, it's off. So there you have it, folks. There's a new sheriff in town, RiderNav R7M, brilliant unit. I'd love to see something new, a fresh design, both on the device and on the interface, right? I think the interface is perfectly fine. I'm a lover of dark themes, if you will, right? Some will have the dark mode and everything, but I think on this one, that design is absolutely perfect. Now, the trick that one has is the connection to the action cameras. This is a feature that I think a lot of you are going to love and are going to really use it, right? Because again, a lot of people have their cameras mounted on the handlebars, either to do a motovlog or to kind of film their rides and everything. I personally use a lot the camera on my helmet, right? To again, record my rides. I don't have a 360 camera. I might get one at some point. But again, I've seen a lot of people, you know, with the 360 cameras mounted at the back, right? And filming the whole thing from the back. So the fact that you can actually control the camera with your wonder wheel, right? Not even getting the hands on the touchscreen, I think it's absolutely perfect. And that's a feature that is going to be a winner for this type of situation. Insta360, GoPro, and DJI's cameras will be compatible with it. And the connection is actually very, very seamless, right? I selected, like I mentioned on the video, right? I selected DJI, and 2 seconds later, it detected my camera. The only thing that I need to make sure that obviously on your camera, you have your wireless connection enabled. Once you do that, the device will pick it up instantly. And again, the other thing for me is something that I really noticed is how fast the processor on this device is. The way that it flicks through the screens and everything, especially because it is actually pushing a lot more pixels, you can tell the definition on the screen, the quality and everything is very, very nice. So in general, what do I think about the device? I think it's a winner, right? You know me, you know that I don't like bigger screens, but this one, I think I'm going to make the sacrifice, and I think I'm going to keep this one on my bike for a little bit of a longer term, right? While I test all these devices, of course, right? I do have a couple more to do, but I think this one is going to be my new personal device. If they ever come up with a 6 inches version, I did ask the question. I don't have an answer yet, but I leave it on the comments down below if I get an answer from RiderNav. But if they do a 6 inches version, absolute perfection, if you ask me, right? But again, because the screen to body ratio is much more optimized than other bigger devices, I think this one, you know, yes, it is a bigger screen, but you get a lot more, you know, screen itself. You don't get all those black borders all around, right? I don't know, maybe it's the resolution. I don't know what it is, but this one, I think it's absolutely perfect. I love it, and I'll keep this one as my own personal device for the time being. So again, if you're interested and you're excited as I am, obviously, right? Look at the link in the description down below. I do have a referral code where you can get a pretty nice discount, right? At the moment, obviously, they're doing an end of year sale, so there's an even bigger discount. So definitely check it out. Use my coupon code. I do get a little bit of commission if you buy it using my code, of course. That's the disclaimer at the beginning of the video. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I see you folks on the next one. Thanks.